I can't believe it.
Just completely, utterly ignore him.
That is a complete scandal. That is right out of this world. I don't believe it! I don't believe it!
I lost a bit of hunger, 26 years old, I've almost won everything in the sport. I was world number one for 28 months at the time. And I'm a human being who could lose hunger at some point. I lost motivation. I've won a lot in my career at a young age. But I'm lucky enough that these kind of phases happen when I'm young. And I'm just happy to be back again. That's all I can say. I'm happy to be back again, but I'm not satisfied yet, because I can feel I can still play better than this. I feel I can still push more, I can train harder. I came into this season to show who I am again, because I felt that people kind of forget who I was last season. But what I told myself that my bad season got me back to world number 3. That's a good season to a lot of players. And even at my bad season, I still won one World Series event. People on social media, everyone was saying how bad I was playing, but they forgot I was only the world number 3. That's not a bad thing. I took that into positive, because I was thinking that means that the people are only used to me being world number 1. If they think that a bad season for me is world number 3, so it's okay, I looked at all these things into a very positive thing. My generation has made me realize that I need to improve my squash. That's for sure, because with Nick and Greg, it was always a mental war with them, and my physicality in a lot of the matches would get me through, because I always had the physical advantage to myself. That's why a lot of my matches with them went to 3-2, and I would always prevail in the 5th game. While with my generation, if I went to a 5th game, my physicality wouldn't prevail, because they had probably even more physicality than me. I had the mental strength. That's always going to be my thing on court, my strength on court. But I was not fit enough last season. Physically, I was not fit enough last season, definitely. And when I played my generation, where this is the age where you're physically at your best. And if you play someone when they're at their physical best shape, if you're not physically good enough, you'll not be up to the standard. My generation was stepping it up with Farag, my brother, and Gawad, and they played me differently. New game, and they found new weaknesses in me. I trained differently over the summer. I definitely trained physically more for these guys, because they're definitely fitter physically than at the time of the group of Nick and Greg, because at the end of your career, obviously, you're going to be there mentally more than physically. That's why Greg and Nick, for me, are always going to be tougher to play, because they're mentally very strong, much stronger than I've ever seen. When you go against Nick or Greg or that generation, for me, it's like a war on court. It's a mental war, where still when I go against my generation, it's more of a physical war. And I would rather have a physical war than a mental war. Because a physical war, you just need to train hard for it. A mental war, you need to train with everything, and just everything. You need to be mentally and physically and everything there, I went to the summer training with a very positive attitude. Of course, there were some things that hit me during the season, like the Greg match at the TUC, for example.
He's completely and utterly hustled Mohamed ElShorbagy.
It hit me. It actually broke me a little bit, and there is no shame of saying it broke me. You have to face the things that broke you down, and not hide from them, and get stronger. That's how you get stronger. When you go on court, you have to have many weapons on court. When your opponent gets one weapon out, you have to have the other weapon to respond. And I didn't have the weapon to respond to Greg that day. And it's only me who to blame for this, because I wasn't trained hard enough to have enough weapons to respond. And it affected me a little bit mentally, definitely. But I literally went on the summer, every training session, remembering only this match. Literally, I only remember this match every time I would get tired in training, only thing I'll be like, no, push yourself. These are the kind of things that you want to go through and be able to pass them. I remember just before the season started, I called my mother and I told her, I'm ready for this season. I'm gonna go back to world number 1, and I'm not just gonna go back to world number 1, I'm gonna dominate this season. And I remember Jonah told me, it's great to dominate for 2 seasons, and I think that if you can do it again, it will be impressive. And I told him, Jonah, I think I'm gonna do it again, because I'm gonna train harder than when I dominated before. And if people think that my time at the world number 1 has ended, my time at the world number 1 has not even started, because I'm only 27. I haven't even reached my peak age yet. And I'm gonna go to next season. I don't want to just go back to that world number one. I want to dominate, because that's the way I like it. I want to play finals every tournament. And then I came into the final of the US Open, and I was ready to win this tournament. I was playing well, and I was coming to the season ready to play my generation. And then I got into the match, losing to Farag for the first time in a World Series event as well. And I'm not easy to lose into World Series finals as well. And then losing 3-love, I was under a big test after that loss, because I've trained so hard in the summer. I was ready to, I felt I was ready to dominate back again. Could have hit me mentally and confidence-wise big time this match. But because I knew that I trained hard for the season, I knew that these losses wouldn't affect me, because I know that I can back it up. I had to turn it over at the Channel VOD, because I played him straight the week after, and then I had to play him in Qatar, and then Hong Kong. I don't go to tournaments where I target one certain tournament, and when I win it, I break down after. Because if you set one goal for one big tournament, you're gonna break down after. But that's why I was not happy with myself after the World Championship, because I had a big target at the World Championship, and when I won it, it took so much out of me. And then I went to the TUC absolutely empty. And I hated that, because the way I thought about it, no, I didn't come this season to win the World Championship. I came to this season because I want to dominate. Because I want to win World Championship 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 times, you know. And that's why what I showed at the TUC, that my only goal was winning the World Championship. And that's a sign of weakness. That's not a sign of strength for someone who wants to stay at the top. I went to Manchester. Once I saw my draw, I had Mazen, and then Joel Making, who was actually playing, who was actually a very good player. And then I had Rami in the last 16, Nick and Greg, and whoever was going to come out in the final, which was my brother, which I didn't expect that. It was so easy to think of a lot of negative things when I saw that draw. It was literally the toughest draw anyone could have got that day. But the way I thought about it as well, that if there is one player in the world who can go through that kind of draw and still win the tournament, I thought it was me. That's the only thing I thought about it. I knew that any of these matches could have been a marathon. And had to get the tactics right for the whole event. And I thought to get to the final with that kind of road, losing only one game, I thought it was impressive, to be honest, because I got the tactics with Palmer spot on to get to the final. The only thing I don't think anyone prepared for was playing my brother in the final, because that's different kind of match. Emotionally, it's just different. And it was a nightmare for me to play him in the final. Emotionally as well, knowing you have to stop your brother winning a world championship, was a nightmare for me as well, for both of us.
Some terrific squash between the two brothers. Really, really good squash.
And then after, I didn't feel tired mentally or physically after the world championship. But I went to TUC with my preparation for every match. I still trained hard before the tournament, but my preparation before every match was, let's say my preparation was careless, a little bit. I was a bit soft as well. I played Kusk there, who played amazing squash that day as well.
He's going to get it. Right, Kaskeli's given the stroke. The scores, the massive upset.
For me, was to beat him, I had to still be, had to be at my best. And I was not ready to do that. And I remember after I lost this tournament, I was trying to stay in the States to train before Chicago with Palmer, but I was so angry that I changed my flight and I left the same day back to UK. And then 2 days later, I was like, what am I doing? I need to go back and train. And then literally that night, 2 days later at night, when I thought like this, I booked a flight the next morning back to the States. I called Palmer that night, like, Palmer, I don't know why I came back to UK. I'm coming back the next day again to the States. I need to start training again. Let's do it. I have Chicago. A few days later, I have Canary Wharf. A few days later, I have Switzerland. I want to win the 3 tournaments. I came back to him for a whole month. And then I think I played well in Chicago. First time in my life, I win all my matches 3-love. And then I went to Canary Wharf with a big test there, where I had my brother and I had Tarek, who were playing well. Because I played both of them literally the week before in Chicago. It's kind of tougher to play them the week after, because they learned something. They're going to play you a bit differently. So mentally, to back it up again is tougher. And then I came to Switzerland, literally had to play 2 days later again. But I told myself, this is what I trained for. That's the kind of matches I trained for. I actually didn't lose because I was physically tired or mentally tired. Just Rami was too good. There are moments when you have to raise your hand and just say too good. And I still gave him a very good 2 games. The first 2 games could have went either way. And I don't think when Rami was at his best like that, I don't think many people can do that with him as well. It's easy to win when you're at your best, but show me how you're gonna when you're not at your best, because 80% of your matches during the season you're not going to be at your best. If someone's going to beat me, it's not because I'm in physical discomfort or mental discomfort. It's because I'm going to make someone play something they never thought they would play against me. I'm going to take something special out of them. I took something special out of Miguel at the British final.
Oh, there's the sound effect. He's really struggling here, and again, great pressure, great pressure. Great pressure in the crowd.
He's cramping. Shorbagy's cramping.
I was not ashamed of this because he played so well. I would have beaten so many players that day, even though I looked in a lot of physical discomfort. But I played that match tactically very well, that match, and I played with a game plan that is hard for someone to beat me that day, especially at a final, at a British as well. I won 3 out of 7 World Series events plus the World Championship. I'm actually not that happy with my season this season. Because I came into this season, I wanted to win the World Championship and I wanted to go back to world number 1. I wanted to win the British, and I missed the British, and I'm not happy about this. I'm gonna train. If I train hard last season, I'm gonna train way harder because all my opponents that would have improved double the standard next season. So I need to train way more harder. I'm excited already because squash is my life. There is no rest. If I take a rest, then that means I'm satisfied, and I'm never satisfied. So I'm gonna go straight into it, get ready for next season, and that's my job. My job is not rest.